Well, hello there, folks and fellow tubers. Want to join Nuclear Skull 87 on his newest video of Call of Cthulhu Chapter 7, The Nameless-Bookstore. It's been way too long since I've done this last, but I had to start over and get back to this part where I was. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. The Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless Bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. Sorry, just had a bit of a funny thought go through my head in case you noticed me laughing quietly. Kind of doubt you did, but just in case you did, those of you watching this. Okay, let's enter madness. Interesting opening sequence, if you ask me. Inspect the bookstore. I left the Sanders house, still shaken by my encounter with the Shambler. Thanks to Kat's indications, I ended up at the Nameless Bookstore, a haunt for devotees of esotericism. The place seems to have been burglarized. Who could have done such a thing? I really love the guy. Where's the bookseller? I love the guy who voices Edward Pierce in this game. He sounds like a guy with his kind of physical looks, if you know what I mean. Pretty much most of the entire cast in this voice cast in this game is British, with the exception of Wolf Collar, the guy who voices Dr. Fuller. He played one of the Nazis in the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's doing great voice work for that character too. A Puritan colony, led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Interesting and freaky history, too. As precise and illustrated with as much detail as the first volume, this book focuses on healing surgeries specific to malformations and motor disorders. As in motor function disorders, of course. Nicely done. Also go on an archaeological dig. Just the way I like to make fun of Indiana Jones, of course. Interesting. That's a nice macabre display, no doubt. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. gotta look at some other stuff first before I can explore this room.
What happened here?
Interesting, I love doing those parts.
Where did the blood? Seemed like amateur.
Again, I love the name of the guy who voices Edward Pierce in this game. I forgot his name. I'll have to look him up to know for sure.
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentional. Was he hurt?
See if there's anything else in there. Nope, doesn't look like it.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these men? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the? Charles Hawkins.
Charles Hawkins.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in the safe. Greg put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is everything to Sarah Hawkins.
So,
Greg left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
do that some other time after I look for a few
What
things.
link did you find between Charles Hawkins and an old animal?
This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo. Remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages.
Arc conditions. Never heard of it.
A book of esoteric philosophy and a key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Movement. Written by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are in this collection?
Written by Hermes Trismegistus, however you say his name. Translated and edited by Nathaniel M. Coppelius. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
Another volume.
A collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse. Written by Nostradamus, translated by Eleone and Theophilus Widebridge. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural. an ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover, that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are this collection?
A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends. Written by Albert Wilmarth, professor at Miskatonic University. That last part I've read several times already, so I don't think I need to do that. I'll probably just be annoying the heck out of you if I did that.
Cylinders that Drake tried to buy. Perhaps listen to it.
There's definitely one around here, no doubt. Do Drake Cylinder 1. Why is it not? I was gonna say.
Queen has little protection.
In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up until then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Okay, main objectives, open the safe. Which is what we're going to do right here and right now. Okay, so it's 5. This is 3. And this again is 5. Alright. And this here is 9. And voila! Let's see what happens here. This looks pretty cool. Achievement unlocked, the book. Well, folks, I believe that'll be the end of Chapter 7, The Nameless Bookstore, for my Call of Cthulhu walkthrough video. If you want to see more of my videos, please hit the like button below. And if you want to... If you like this video, please hit the like button below. And if you want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscribe button below. Until next time, folks.